Imagine two people starting from absolute zero. Neither has a wealthy family, special connections, or a single clear opportunity handed to them. They both face the same friction: repeated rejections, limited resources, and the constant struggle to find a way forward. Yet 10 years later, one has achieved financial success and momentum, while the other remains trapped in a cycle of stress and survival. When we see this gap, we tend to credit luck. We assume the successful person found a loophole, met the right investor, or simply had better timing. While external variables exist, psychology suggests a different mechanic is at work. The divergence starts with mental patterns that take shape long before any money enters the bank account. Escaping poverty requires a direct confrontation with human biology. Evolution has hardwired the brain with a specific set of default settings. It prioritizes physical comfort, it demands certainty before acting, and it constantly chases instant rewards. To rise from zero, a person must perform a series of cognitive overrides, actively rebelling against these natural human instincts. This means turning the brain from an antagonist into a tool, training it to work against its own neurological defaults. The human brain naturally seeks immediate dopamine. Spending money, scrolling social media, and avoiding difficult work all provide that instant satisfaction. Rising above this cycle requires a trade, exchanging immediate satisfaction for future freedom. Self-made individuals train themselves to tolerate short-term discomfort. They choose the path that makes them more capable later, rather than the one that feels good right now. This detachment also applies to our emotions. When we face fear, embarrassment, or rejection, the brain's default response is to panic and retreat. Those who build wealth still feel these emotions, but they do not allow them to interrupt their long-term goals. They decouple their actions from their temporary feelings. Lasting freedom is only possible for those willing to sacrifice immediate emotional validation and short-term comfort. The brain also demands safety. It wants proof that a project will succeed before it commits any real energy or focus. Psychologists refer to this loop as certainty bias. It's a trap where we wait indefinitely for perfect, risk-free conditions that never actually appear. This bias paralyzes most people, keeping them locked in their current circumstances because they refuse to move without a guarantee. Overcoming this paralysis requires acting while the outcome is still unclear. Successful individuals become comfortable moving forward before they have all the answers. Acting early builds experience early. While others are still waiting for proof, the person taking action is already compounding their skills and opening new doors. Building wealth is an inherently uncertain process. Waiting for safety guarantees stagnation. For many, poverty becomes a psychological identity. It creates a mindset of limitation, where beliefs like "people like me don't succeed" become invisible prisons. Your brain constantly tries to match your behavior your self-image. If you believe success is for other people, you will unconsciously sabotage opportunities that prove otherwise. Escaping this requires changing your internal identity to that of an owner or a leader long before your external circumstances change. This shift also involves abandoning the chase for status symbols. While many spend years trying to look successful to others, those who rise from zero focus entirely on becoming valuable. Psychologist Carol Dweck identifies this as a growth mindset, viewing abilities not as fixed traits, but as skills that can be developed through focused effort. When you focus on acquiring high-value skills like communication, sales, or technology, the internal narrative shifts from what the environment allows to what you can build. This transition removes the psychological cage of being a victim to your circumstances. There is no magical shortcut to building wealth from nothing. It is a systematic battle against the human default, a process of delaying reward, tolerating uncertainty, and detaching your goals from your emotions. These choices create psychological momentum. Over time, these individual mental shifts align to create massive forward motion that eventually becomes unstoppable. The people who rise from zero are not always the most intellectually gifted. They are simply the ones who refuse to let their current environment dictate their internal reality. Your starting point matters far less than the psychology that guides your next step.